Hi, my name is Emily. I live with my husband, Andrew, and our 7-year-old son, Lucas. Andrew and I have been married for 10 years. We were happy, or at least I thought we were. We had a comfortable life, a beautiful house with a garden, and routines that felt safe. Andrew worked long hours at his job, but always tried to be a good father and husband. 6 months ago, we decided to hire someone to help around the house. That's when Ethan came into our lives. He was young, quiet, and polite, always wearing a calm, reassuring smile. Ethan took care of the cleaning, maintained the garden, and occasionally looked after Lucas when we needed an extra hand. At first, I barely noticed him. He blended into the background, always there but never intrusive. But one evening, everything began to shift. I came home late from work. Andrew was still at the office, and Lucas was already asleep. I found Ethan sitting in the kitchen, reading a book. I was tired, but I sat down with him. We started talking, and for the first time, I got to know him. Ethan shared bits about his life. He was from a small town far away, had no family here, and worked hard to build a better future. That night, our conversation stretched on, and I found myself laughing in a way I hadn't in years. After that, things began to feel different. A few weeks later, Andrew had to leave for a business trip. He would be gone for 3 days. On the first evening, after Lucas went to bed, Ethan and I shared dinner. We talked and laughed, just as we had before. But this time, something was different. When the conversation grew quiet, I leaned in and kissed him. It was brief, just a small kiss, but it felt monumental. The room seemed to freeze. I pulled back immediately, whispering, "That was a mistake." Ethan didn't say a word, but his silence spoke volumes. That night, guilt consumed me. I lay awake thinking about Andrew and wondering how I could have done something so wrong. I told myself it wouldn't happen again. It was just a moment of weakness, but emotions are unpredictable. A few nights later, it happened again. This time, it wasn't just a fleeting kiss. It was deeper, longer, and undeniable. I didn't stop it. I didn't want to. When Andrew came home, I pretended everything was fine. Life went on as usual. We cooked dinner, played with Lucas, and watched TV. But inside, I felt like I was living two lives. I had a secret, and it was tearing me apart. Weeks passed, and the weight of my guilt only grew heavier. Then, one night, everything changed again. I found messages on Andrew's phone, messages from another woman. At first, I felt shattered. How could he do this to me? But then I realized we were both guilty of betraying each other. That evening, after Lucas was asleep, I decided I couldn't keep the secret any longer. "Andrew, we need to talk," I said, my voice trembling. He looked up, concerned. "What is it?" I hesitated, then forced the words out. "I've been seeing someone." The silence in the room was deafening. Finally, Andrew spoke. "So have I." In that moment, our carefully constructed lives unraveled. But instead of screaming or walking away, we did something unexpected. We talked. For hours, we poured out our hearts, shared our pain, and admitted our mistakes. We made a decision that night. We wanted to fight for our marriage. The next day, we let Ethan go. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Lucas cried when we told him Ethan had found another job. It wasn't the whole truth, but it was the best we could offer. Andrew and I started marriage counseling. Rebuilding trust was harder than I imagined. There were moments of anger, sadness, and doubt. Andrew didn't trust me the way he once did, and I couldn't trust him completely either. But we kept trying. Slowly, things began to improve. Andrew started coming home earlier from work. We spent more time together as a family. We made new rules for our relationship. No more secrets, no matter how difficult the truth might be. One day, I asked Andrew about the woman he had been seeing. "Who was she?" I asked, bracing myself. Andrew hesitated, then said, Her name is Lauren. She works at my office. Hearing her name stung, but I had to know more. Do you still talk to her? No, he said firmly. It ended before you told me about Ethan. That brought some relief, but it didn't erase the pain. We continued counseling, working through the layers of hurt we had both caused. Months later, on our anniversary, Andrew surprised me with a small box. Inside was a new wedding ring. I want us to start fresh, he said, his voice filled with hope. Tears filled my eyes. I love you, I said, meaning it with every part of me. I love you too, he replied. Today, our marriage isn't perfect, but it's stronger. We've learned to communicate, to listen, and to be honest. Lucas is happier too. Our home feels lighter, filled with laughter and love. Sometimes I think about the past and the mistakes we both made, but I don't let those thoughts linger. We've come so far, and I'm proud of the life we're building. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video.